It is time for the Rural Intelligence Report, ruralintelligence.com, time where we chat with Mark Williams of Rural Intelligence, find out what's coming up, what's been going on, and what is actually going on. Lots of pictures and stories, and that, of course, great chronological calendar of coming events. Mark, nice to speak to you again today.
Good morning, Marshall. It is lovely to be back. And the sun is streaming through the windows, so spring is definitely is well on the way, and maybe even summer as well, which would be fantastic.
All right. Well, let us start off with two fundraisers that are happening Monday evening, the 20th.
Yeah, actually, this week is fundraiser. I guess the spring flowers are in full bloom, and so are all the fundraisers as well. But there are two on Monday night that I did want to mention, and you can sign up at the last minute to get to them. The first one is in Lenox at the Mount, and it's the BCAC Black and White Spring Gala. And this gala is really lovely because you can enjoy wonderful food. They're having 20 different chefs are contributing food, and you can go and do that. But you can also stroll through the formal gardens at the Mount, which are really coming into their own at the moment. So it really is lovely, and you can sip your cocktail and wander around. And you also support the work of the Berkshire Community Action Council. They're a lovely organization because they're a local non-profit which helps residents with fuel assistance, with weatherization services, with emergency services, with food, clothing, and more. And they've just come through, obviously, a hard winter. And so that's really worthwhile supporting. They do really great work in the area. And then also on Monday night, as you mentioned, but this time down in Great Barrington at Chrissy Farms, Construct is having its Mayfest. And they have it every year. And by the way, there's a lot to celebrate this year because it's their 50th anniversary. It really is, a real testament to how important this organization is for the area. It will be a night of tastings, and they benefit their non-profit programs. So it's really good work there. Lots of live music from the Lucky Five, and interestingly enough, this year they are going to be honoring the restaurants that have been really long-term supporters of Construct and its work as well. So two really worthwhile fundraisers on Monday night. And there will be more this week as well. So as we go through things, I think we'll find some more one way and another.
All right. We'll move on from those fundraisers. Let's head to Pittsfield, Massachusetts on May 21st.
Yeah, Tuesday, if you get a hangover on Monday evening, you go to, on Tuesday morning, there's a wonderful breakfast at the Berkshire Hills Country Club. And this is a breakfast for the Berkshire Non-Profit Awards ceremony. The Non-Profit Center of the Berkshires is actually coming up for its second or third year. And they were set up because in the Berkshires, there are something like 1,000 different organizations or non-profits. That we have the highest number of non-profits per capita in Massachusetts here. And they need to be represented. They need to be supported by all sorts of facilities one way and another. And this organization does one other thing, which is very important. It really does award and recognize people who work tirelessly in these nonprofits to serve the community. So that's at the Berkshire Hills Country Club at 8 o'clock in the morning. And if you go, it's a real opportunity to support so many of the organizations in this area.
From Pittsfield, Massachusetts, we come back home down to Salisbury, Connecticut, where a real local author who lives both in Salisbury and New York City will be at the White Hart.
I saw this, and, I'm a bit of a political junkie, and I remember in 1960, I was 12 years old, and I remember the incident that has been behind John Burnham's new book, John Burnham Schwartz's new book. So the White Hart Inn is hosting John Burnham Schwartz at 6 o'clock on Tuesday evening. He has a new historical novel out called The Red Daughter. It's an unexpected sort of love story, and it's all inspired by the life of Svetlana Alyevaya, the only daughter of Joseph Stalin. And I'm not sure how closely this novel sticks to the truth. I really haven't read it, but I do know that I remember it well. In '67, Svetlana caused an international furor when she defected, and then later she became a naturalized citizen of the U.S. It's an amazing story because she then, in 1984, she then returned to the Soviet Union. They gave her back her Soviet citizenship. And then later she left and went to France. She spent time in the US, and then she eventually settled in the United Kingdom and became a UK citizen in the 90s. So it's an amazing story. She's the only daughter, as I say, of Joseph Stalin. So it sort of is really an interesting sort of background, strange relationship with her father, but a wonderful basis for a novel. So go listen to John Burnham Schwartz read from this novel. And I think it also, if you're a political junkie, it's really fascinating as well. So that's at the White Hart Inn, 6 o'clock, Tuesday, May the 21st.
And our Dan Dwyer did a great interview with him that's available on our podcast site at robinhoodradio.com. Really, really interesting. A half hour. It wasn't time to scratch the surface, so that appearance, the White Hart, will be a lot of fun for people. Moving on to Lenox, Massachusetts. Volunteers in Medicine have their spring dinner.
Yeah, each organization that's celebrating and having its galas this week each one is better than the last. I mean, they are doing absolutely wonderful work. And Volunteers in Medicine, which is having its dinner at Blantyre on Tuesday evening, starts at 6:30 in the evening. They are an organization that supports people with health problems. It provides access to free, really comprehensive health care for those people in the Berkshires and the region, actually, who are income qualified and who are uninsured or even underinsured. So they're doing really great work for the local community. They're going to Blantyre, so it's going to be a pretty fancy dinner one way and another. Wonderful music from the Swing Theory Jazz Trio. And so if you want to support a lovely organization, Tuesday, May the 21st, the Volunteers in Medicine is a really great way of doing that.
In Stockbridge on the 23rd, the seasonal flower arranging with a highly regarded floral designer.
Yeah, Ariella Cesar is really one of the most sought-after floral designers in the world. And we talked about her in the past, but she's going to be at the Berkshire Botanical Garden, and I thought that we really ought to mention this again because she's just published this book, which is called Seasonal Flower Arranging, Fill Your Home with Blooms, Branches, and Foraged Materials All Year Round. It's a really impressive book. It's lavishly photographed. It's got, and the thing is that they have 39 seasonal floral arrangements. And the wonderful thing is there are sort of like step-by-step instructions on how to make these floral arrangements. And she's going to be at the Berkshire Botanical Garden talking about that and showing you how to make these floral arrangements for your own home. And of course, you use the instructions as a basis. You don't have to follow them, like a cooking recipe. You can use it as a guide to really wonderful floral designs. So, as I say, Berkshire Botanical Gardens, 5 o'clock on Thursday, May the 23rd.
On the 24th, let's head to Hudson, New York.
Yeah, this is a big weekend, actually, because it starts on Friday the 24th and runs through Sunday the 26th in Hudson, and it's the Design Hudson 2019 celebration. And basically, it's a big festival. It's to support the new Hudson River School, and they are having a big opening party on Friday night at the Bronson House, where they're going to be talking about the historical architecture, and they're going to juxtapose it with contemporary furniture and art and home decor created by local Hudson businesses and artisans. So that's on Friday night. But then on Saturday and Sunday, if you're in and around the Hudson area, you can take a self-guided tour of not only Bronson House, but other really architecturally significant Hudson homes. And the great thing about Hudson is it's full of architecturally significant homes. It really is a wonderful walk around, beautiful houses. The wealth that was created by whale oil, was amazing, obviously. And each of these guided tours, there are rooms that showcase the work of local designers. On Saturday afternoon, Hudson Hall is joining in. They're going to be hosting a panel discussion with representatives from Olana and from the Thomas Cole Historic Sites and local artists. So that will be interesting. And then on Saturday night, all the businesses along Warren Street, not all the businesses, a lot of the businesses along Warren Street and beyond will be hosting special events in their spaces, really to highlight collections of furnitures, art, fashion, scents, and more. So there really is a lot going on. So if you're looking for something to do over the weekend, wander over to Hudson, because they'll be, and pop in and see what's going on with the Design Hudson 2019.
On May 24th in Great Barrington, there's the Mona Sherman Memorial Lecture.
Yeah, the OSHA Lifelong Learning Institute has an annual Mona Sherman Memorial Lecture. This year, they've invited Jim Acosta from CNN to come and talk. And frankly, I saw this and I thought, well, really, this is a really interesting event to go to, because we really need to support good, honest reporting one way and another in these confusing times when so much is tweets of 140 characters, which are completely confusing. So Jim Acosta will be there. It's in the Mahawi. It's at 6 o'clock on Friday evening on the 24th. If you go to the Mahawi website, you can find it there. But of course, you can go via Rural Intelligence as well, and we'll provide a link to the right place to get tickets.
From there, let's go and talk about yoga and goats.
Yes, I love this one. On Saturday the 25th, and then again actually in June, early June in Clinton, the Hudson Valley Kinders Farm is having which is becoming a really popular event. Tiffany Simocini is a certified yoga teacher, and she is an Ayurvedic therapist as well. But she is going to be having a yoga class which has goats involved. And if you've seen the pictures on YouTube, it is absolutely hilarious. As you're doing your downward dog, these little baby goats are running around, are really participating, jumping all over the participants, really fun. And afterwards, I mean, obviously you can only do this when they're relatively young, and they're still very, very tame. And if you've ever seen a baby goat, you'll know how adorable they are. So anyway, afterwards, after you've done your yoga class, you actually get a chance to take some photographs with the goats and to interact with them as well. And since you're at the Kinders Farm in Clinton, you get a chance to wander into the farm store and meet the farmers and all that type of thing. So that's Clinton at Hudson Valley Kinders Farm at 10 o'clock on Saturday, May the 25th. And then again, it's on June the 8th as well.
And I digress because I skipped something that's going on in West Stockbridge on the 24th, the Chamber Players Spring Concert.
Yeah, yes. The West, the old. Let me put this in context. The old town hall in West Stockbridge is just absolutely been a boon to the town. The town is really actually having a tremendous revival of late. Lots of new businesses coming in, new museums and whatever it is. And the old town hall has been beautifully renovated, and so. It's a good excuse. The West Stockbridge Chambers Players Spring Concert is a good excuse to actually go to the old town hall and listen to the West Stockbridge Chamber Players feature music from Mozart, Schubert, and Hans Gall. So a lovely little concert. There's a reception afterwards. It's at 6 o'clock on Friday, May the 24th.
We'll move on once again and go back to the 25th, and we'll go to, let's see here, how about Chatham, New York?
Yeah. Look, this is really becoming a big event. It's actually on Saturday the 25th and Sunday the 26th as well. It's at the Hudson Berkshire Wine and Food Festival, and this is right up the street of Robin Hood Radio and Rural Intelligence. It's in its 7th year. The whole big event is now in the Columbia County Fairgrounds, and what they've done is it's really organized by the Hudson Berkshire Beverage Trail. And what they do is they bring together wineries, distilleries, cider makers or cideries, craft breweries. They bring them all together from the Hudson Valley and the Berkshires. They put them under one roof so that you can wander around, do some tastings, make some purchases as well. And then they bring in a whole lot of local crafters, jewelers, artisans, the Taste New York people and the Berkshire Grown organization are going to be there with a whole lot of food producers as well. So there will be gourmet cheeses, olives, pickles, jams, maple syrups, baked items as well. So it will be a great fun event for the long weekend there. It's at the Columbia County Fairgrounds, both Saturday and Sunday, the 25th and 26th.
Let us move on from Chatham, New York, to Washington, Connecticut.
Yeah, the Hollister House Gardens are coming really beautifully into their own at the moment, and they're hosting Jenna O'Brien on Saturday the 25th. She's the owner of Viridissima Horticulture and Design, and what she specializes in is how you can use containers in the landscape to really extend the natural beauty, but also extend the season one way and another. And you can produce food, you can really use these containers in a whole series of different ways. So she's going to give a talk at 10 o'clock in the morning about how to use these containers. It's going to be an illustrated presentation, so she's really going to take the container and build it and show how it's built up one way and another and planted. And by the way, if you go, so you will learn something in the lecture, but if you, one of the lucky attendees also gets the opportunity to win the completed container when she's finished it as well. So that's at Hollister House Gardens, which is always worthwhile going to. It's at 10 o'clock on Saturday, May the 25th.
Off to Windsor, Massachusetts, we go on the 25th.
Well, after being in your container one way and another at Hollister House Gardens, you can go off to Windsor and Notch View because that afternoon they're having a herbal remedies series, this is their spring event, and it's really learning how to make sort of simple home remedies and concoctions from local plants that are seasonal, which are just coming up now. So it really does focus on what's available in your gardens and in your backyards. And by the way, this is the first of the year. They're going to be 4 in total, one for each of the for the seasons. So it's a lovely event. So it's at Notch View in Windsor. Starts at 1 o'clock on Saturday, May the 25th. And again, get all the details before you go. It might be useful to get them, and you can get there via Rural Intelligence.
Off to Great Barrington we go for the Berkshire Pulse Performance and Fundraiser on the 25th.
Yeah, there are a couple of dance events this week, and I spotted this one at Bard College. It's on Saturday the 25th, and then it's also going to be on Sunday as well. Berkshire Pulse is really bringing young people in the area into dance one way and another. This is their annual performance and also fundraiser. The reason why this is important is that they really do encourage youth and teens to take part in dance, but they need tuition assistance. And so this fundraiser is really important because it's raising money for that specific purpose. It's at Bard College, so it's beautifully, there's a beautiful facility to enjoy. And I learned from their website that over 1/3 of their students need some sort of tuition assistance. So it really is a very significant fundraiser for them. So if you enjoy dance, looking for something to really make you enthusiastic about young people and dance, then this is the event. Check it out on the Berkshire Pulse website. And as I say, it's both Saturday and Sunday.
On the 25th, there is a cool event going on, celebrating Clinton landmarks, a driving tour.
Yeah. I hadn't realized this, but as part of the 200th anniversary of Clinton in 1986, apparently. Anyway, the Landmarks Designation Committee of the Clinton Historical Society decided to go out and identify buildings whose age and architectural was important to Clinton, and that were in a state of preservation which were good enough to make them historically significant. They have found 41 landmark buildings in Clinton. And on Saturday, the 25th, you can go on a sort of self-driving tour of these landmark buildings. You'll have to get all the details from the organization. You can download it from their website. And then later in the afternoon, there's going to be a talk and a reception. We'll follow it at the Creek Meeting House. So, if you're interested in history, local history, and whatever it is, and you want to get out and about on Saturday the 25th, it starts at 11 o'clock in the morning, but it runs till 5 o'clock, but it's definitely worthwhile going to the talk and the reception at Creek Meeting House, which starts at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Talk about driving. Let's drive to North Adams, Massachusetts on the 25th at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, this is the start of a major situation in Mass MoCA. Mass MoCA, it's difficult to think. It's turning 20 years old, and they are having a really massive summer as a result of that. It starts off on Saturday the 25th with a block party with games. There's going to be food, there's going to be performances, there's going to be live music from Tiny Desk concert winners, and Bangas as well. It's all on the website. But the thing that's really going to be very significant on Saturday afternoon is that Annie Lennox will be in town, and she is going to be kicking off her new exhibition that is going to be at Mass MoCA. I don't know whether you've been up there recently, but one of the other big stars is Laurie Anderson. Has an amazing exhibition on there at the moment as well. So she's going to be joining Laurie Anderson, and so she is going to be there. She's going to be talking about the new exhibition. She's going to be talking, having general stories and whatever. She's going to be performing some songs in a solo performance. It benefits the Annie Lennox Foundation, which supports social justice work as well, and particularly global feminism. And also it will be supporting the Mass MoCA Fund for New Music as well. So it's going to be a big event. It will continue for a long time. Check out the Mass MoCA website, because all the different times and locations and events are too complex to talk about on a quick call like this, Marshall, but it really is going to be and it's going to be a big year as well.
It's pretty cool to have they're going to have that conversation with Annie Lennox as well.
Yeah, neat.
That's something that if I had the time, I'd love to go do, but I don't. Yeah. So we'll move on to a New Preston, Connecticut Theater for Goods. It's Our Town.
Yeah. This is funny. I mean, I love Our Town, the play, and it was interesting. I was listening to the BBC. I don't always listen to Robin Hood, but I was listening to the BBC last year, and they were doing a review of the play Our Town in Liverpool, and the English reviewers just couldn't understand Our Town. It really is a quintessentially American play. Really is heartwarming, and the Theatre for Good did it last year, and it was so well received that they're bringing it back for a one-night reprise on the Memorial Day weekend on Saturday night. It's going to be at the Washington Montessori School in New Preston. And the Theatre for Good is a really interesting organization as well. By the way, we have a big story in Rural Intelligence this week about it and its founder, Caroline Kingsolver. So do check that out. And if you have a chance, do go along and enjoy this performance. It's really lovely, and it's they're asking people just to make a contribution or to donate what you can, because they are going to give some money to local charities as well. So it's a lovely event. As I say, Washington Montessori School, 8 o'clock in the evening in New Preston on Saturday night.
Let's go to Egremont, Massachusetts on the 25th for some music.
Yeah, I spotted this, and I think a lot of people will know Eddie Barbush, but they won't actually know him, if you know what I mean. Eddie Barbush is going to be at the Barn at Egremont Village Inn on Saturday evening. He was one of the founding members of the John Baptiste and Stay Human, which is the house band for The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Anyway, he's performed with Yo-Yo Ma, and Wynton Marsalis and Lenny Kravitz and many others. He's going to be at the Barn at Egremont Village Inn on Saturday evening. Starts at 8 o'clock in the evening, and there's lovely little nibbly things to eat at there. I like the Village Inn because you can get little nibbly things. They're quite reasonably priced and really tasty, and it's a really intimate, wonderful atmosphere there.
All right, we will go to Chatham, New York, the Albany Berkshire Ballet on the 26th.
Yeah, I spotted this. You know, PS21, since they built their new theatre, is putting on events all around the year, and they're getting really involved in dance as well, so it's really worthwhile supporting it. And on Sunday afternoon, May the 26th, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, they've got the Albany Berkshire Ballet coming in, and they've got new repertory from the choreographer Erica Dankmeyer, who's been to Jacob's Pillow on a number of occasions. There's also, they've got works from Janine Parker of Williams College, Jonathan Rydell of SUNY Purchase, and a couple of others. And they've got a whole series of company dancers from the Albany Berkshire Ballet, and they'll be performing. So definitely, if you're a dance supporter, and you're in the Chatham area, this is definitely something worthwhile attending. That's on Sunday, May the 26th at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
We'll go to Hillsdale on the 26th for the Clarion Concerts benefit.
Well, we've got some real stars in the area, and one of them is Eugenie Zuckerman, and she is going to be performing in this concert, a Clarion concert benefit in Hillsdale on Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock. What's wonderful about Eugenie is that she is the artistic director of both the Leaf Peeper concerts, which we talk about a lot here, and Classics on Hudson, both of which, actually, by the way, we talked about. So, and she really is a wonderful flautist. She's going to be joined by the pianist Anthony Newman, a violinist Helena Bailey as well, and they're going to be playing music from Bach, actually several Bachs, the W.F. Bach, CPE Bach, J.S. Bach, as well as Handel and Bieber as well. So a lovely afternoon concert really to enjoy on Sunday afternoon up there at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
And we will wrap things up at the Sharon Audubon Center. They're back with more birds flying and more corks popping.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one because this is the Sharon Audubon Center Raptors and Riesling event, which they have on a regular every year, and it really is wonderful because you get a chance to enjoy some fine wine, some hors d'oeuvres, and then you can wander around and look at Ford Pond down there, and you get a chance also to listen to the staff talk about the rescue stories, which are amazing for some of these resident raptors. This year, I think, is going to be particularly interesting because you get a chance to wander through these new pollinator gardens that they have, because they are about later in the summer to develop the new butterfly flight house. And so you're going to get a preview of that because it will be opening later in the summer. So it's a wonderful private tour, as it were, of a wildlife rehabilitation clinic as well. So really interesting and wonderful afternoon. That's Sunday afternoon, May the 26th. Starts at 5 o'clock. All the information is on the Sharon Audubon Center website. And that will wrap up a wonderful week, one way and another, of celebrating the area.
Well, we're into the busy season, no doubt about that. Mark, we'll speak to you again next week.
Lovely, Marshall. I'll look forward to it.